Hello, friends. Welcome to Woodall's Wednesday Webcast, week number 101. All right. The thing I get requested the most to talk about and explain is the food. Okay. And with my clients, the questions I get most often are about the food. And I've got a lot of new people looking at this because I'm picked up a ton of new clients in the last month. So I just did one of these 3 or 4 weeks ago, I think maybe. But let's talk about the food again. Okay. All right. This is simple breakdown. Okay. If you already know about macros, move on. This is gonna be a boring conversation. All right. We're getting down to the basics here. All right. Food is comprised of 3 things collectively called the macros: protein, carb, and fat. Okay. There's other nutrients and minerals and things in food, but the things that make up the calories, okay, is protein, carbs, and fat. Now, each gram of carb and protein is 4 calories. Each gram of fat is 9 calories. That's why a frozen custard has more calories than a frozen yogurt. The fat content is higher. That's why it's got more calories. That's why desserts, for the most part, are higher calorie because they're higher fat than most foods. Okay, so let's talk about the leaner ideas about stuff. So the lean foods, the foods that everybody eats: chicken, fish. Okay, those are lean. So to compare chicken and steak, chicken breast may have 25 grams of protein, no carbs, and no fat. Okay, meat generally doesn't have carbs. So chicken, you're going to have a 25 grams of protein and 0 fat. Okay, the same comparable piece of steak will have 25 grams of protein and 20 grams of fat, let's say. Okay, so the chicken is a leaner food. It's going to have less calories because it doesn't have the fat the steak has. They both have the same amount of protein, okay, but the fat content is higher in the steak. So that's why I tell my clients, I want you making leaner fat choices, lower fat choices as far as your meat goes. Okay, so more chicken, more fish, less steak or higher fat meats. Okay, things that are all fat, mostly, like bacon, sausage, those type of things, I don't want my clients eating. Have it with your cheat meal. Don't have those things on a regular basis. Okay. Now, drinks. I also don't have my clients drink anything with calories. That's kind of the rule. Okay. Now, most drinks just have carbs in them because they're sugar. Okay. You get a Mountain Dew, you get a can of Mountain Dew, 40 grams of carbs, no fat, no protein. Okay. It's just all sugar. Okay. So I don't want clients drinking anything with calories because those are just kind of wasted calories. Okay, so, and I'm a big believer in that. That's a big part of this. You add up calories fast. If you're drinking, if you're drinking 3 Mountain Dews a day, even the cans, I mean, that's 120 to 150 grams of carbs a day just in the drinks. Okay, I would rather you have that in good, healthy food instead of the sugar in those drinks. Okay, so that's also with carbs. Think of it this way. Think of a biscuit versus oatmeal. Okay, if you had the same amount of oatmeal that would be related to that, let's just say they're both 20 grams of carbs. You got this amount of oatmeal, this 20 grams of carbs, and you got a biscuit that's 20 grams of carbs. The biscuit's going to have a bunch of fat with it. The oatmeal's not. So the oatmeal's going to be a lower fat choice, thus less calories. So you choosing to have a oatmeal, which is a good choice, versus you choosing to have a biscuit with breakfast is going to be a huge calorie difference because of the fat in the biscuit. Okay, that's also another point that I make with clients. When I tell clients to keep the food simple, what I mean is, keep the food simple as in chicken, cottage cheese, steak, sweet potato. Simple choices. The reason I do that is because the simpler the choice, the less calories that are going to be in there. My perfect example that I've used for the 8.5 years I've done this is 2 eggs at breakfast. Let's say you've got 2 eggs at breakfast and oatmeal, okay? Then you've got an omelet, okay, and a biscuit even. Calories are going to be 5 or 6 times higher with the omelet. Let's just focus on the omelet. You got 2 eggs, you know what you're getting. You have a 2-egg omelet, you've added all that extra calories. Okay, and you say, oh, Ryan, it just had mushrooms and greens and, you know, that type of stuff. I understand that, but the cheese and everything else, you're going to increase the caloric content to that. So the person having 2 eggs and oatmeal at breakfast versus a person having an omelet and a biscuit, night and day. Okay, so when I tell you that I want you making lower fat choices, I want you making good choices, which will be lower fat, less calories, and you'll be more successful. Okay? Everybody with me on that? All right. If anybody has any questions, message me. That's what I'm here for. Love you guys.